Hi. Hi there. Welcome. This is a new revamped edition of our previous podcast, and we're going to be calling ourselves the Soft Serve. The Soft Serves.
Yeah,
Yay.
soft with two F's at the end because we are all soft.
Yeah, and it's what do we call ourselves? Horror comedy. But horror not in the way that you expect, and comedy also not in the way that you expect.
Yeah. Every week we have a topic that one of us chooses, and the other two are kind of strung along.
Mm-hmm.
And the topics will cover stuff in pop culture, stuff in history, true crime stuff, existential stuff, philosophical stuff, and also random things about movies that I insist on talking about. So that will kind of be what you can expect over the course of however long we do this, with, I guess, a local bent, a Singaporean focus, but you don't have to be Singaporean to enjoy this. I say this optimistically, imagining we have an international listener base.
People from Czechoslovakia love us.
Hello! Hi, our Czech friends. How's the weather
We're going
in Prague?
to visit Brazil in the summer next year, and I think we're going to do maybe do a UK tour as well, you know. But like through the smaller areas, you know, you go to Birmingham.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone who used to go to Flor de Lis's concerts has nowhere else to go. That's a great deep cut in the first minute. It's Flor de Lis.
Oh my god!
I think
look up Flor de Lis, friends. Look it up.
Oh, we gotta talk about Flor de Lis one day.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Flor de Lis episode because oh boy.
Yes. So one of the reasons why that we decided to kind of switch our format a bit is because our previous podcast, Frustration Nation, is very much focused on current events, social issues, etc., and we were getting very frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were living up to the name. I guess it was like every week it would be the same pattern of things that people have done, and usually the same group of people have done the same
every
things.
week there's another rapist who gets excused from court.
Yeah. So
there's
it's
another
very
misguided attempt at something which is inadvertently racist.
Yeah, it was very exhausting. So like this way we kind of get to talk about stuff that each of us want to talk about. Like each week one of us gets the platform. I say platform in a very loose sense.
But it's possible that this could be as if not more depressing than the previous show. So stick around and find out.
Yeah. I mean our anger for the establishment never goes away. So
yeah. Will you join in our crusade?
Yeah.
So it'll show up here. And
it's
we
more
don't care
concentrated
anymore.
Because previously every week it would be this happened to foreign workers again, this happened to some pedophile again, but
some Facebook man said this thing.
Yeah, some Facebook man said this thing, right? And then
I'm sure we're all thinking of the same man.
We're thinking of the same Facebook man.
No, I'm thinking of 3 different Facebook men at
so many options.
Yeah, so many options of Facebook men.
Oh god.
And it felt like the discussion, although we would make good points in one part of the episode, you would have to wait through all the other events to get to one point, and then it felt like it was very bloated. So at one point we could talk about labor rights in an episode, then after that talk about sex offenders, and then it felt like because sex offenders was at the end of the episode, maybe people wouldn't have listened to that very good discussion as well. So this, at least if we do it topically, it can be contained into an episode, and then if you don't really want to listen to someone talk about this, then you skip and you go to the next episode or something.
Yeah, and I think there were episodes of Frustration Nation that kind of hinted at this kind of format. Like the first one that we did, the Virus Vanguard one, it was one topic. Mm-hmm. And then the one where we talked about the non-essential artist thing, that was also one topic for one episode, because we had planned to do 2 topics for that episode and then I was splitting it in half. So that gave us a lot of ground to cover one thing. And I think that's what we want for soft serves. So, Kim, what is the inaugural episode of Soft Serves about?
So
This week is Kim's turn to
oh my goodness.
starting us off.
So we're gonna be talking about Umbrella Academy season 2. No, I'm kidding. It's about the Xiao Mei Mei industrial complex.
Yeah, this is a term that I've coined, and I don't know why I am admitting to having coined the term, but yes, the Singapore's Xiao Mei Mei or XMM industrial complex. And we will explain what Xiao Mei Mei means, but when I first saw XMM as an abbreviation, it sounded like one of the less successful X-Men spin-offs. In the post-Chris Claremont era, when Marvel didn't really know what they were doing, there was a
X-Men
team,
Mini.
Yeah, the XMM team that was led by like Dark Beast and Wolfsbane or something.
If only that was what it was.
Morph was in the background, yeah.
Okay, so I know Drake took higher Chinese. Could you care to explain what the phrase Xiao Mei Mei means? Contextually.
I did not take higher Chinese, actually.
I took higher Chinese.
Oh.
Huh? You?
Wait, what?
Thanks for all of your votes of confidence. I took higher Chinese. Yeah. I love this. All of this disbelief. Yeah, this really sucks. Okay, so Xiao Mei Mei literally is little sister, right? And the interesting thing is when you watch American movies or Hollywood movies and you're reading the Chinese subtitles, they have to guess, because when the characters say my brother or my sister, they have to guess, is it 哥哥 or 弟弟, right? Is it 姐姐 or 妹妹? Because there are different designations for, depending on whether your sibling is older or younger than you, as compared to general brother and sister, or little brother, big brother. So that term is built into it. So 小妹妹 denotes that they are younger than you. There's also kind of like a familial hint there, because I guess it's in the same way you'd say daddy, and you'd say daddy in a sexual way. Yeah, it's very much that. So it's like there's so much to dig in just in the term of 小妹妹 as applying to younger girls. Like a lot of the thing is a lot of this is going very well. I mean, a big part of this is you're guessing the age, and we'll get into that later, and that in itself is very creepy. It's like you don't know, are they kind of barely legal, are they 17 or 18? So at this point I want to pause and say to any of my future employers listening to this, thanks for listening to this. Please listen a little bit longer. Do not cut me out of context. I have good points, I promise you. Stick with it. I'm bold of me to assume my future employers.
Is there like a technical definition in this context?
Age?
The
Is
thing
it like a bracket?
Okay, like I actually heard the term 小妹妹 many years ago as an insult.
So
Because-
like alien?
Yeah, kind of like making fun of like just younger girls. It
Like it
wasn't.
denotes certain characteristics.
Yeah, like you know, it's just making fun of the fact that this little teenage girl is like trying to like maybe act tough or act older than she is, and then you call her out for actually being a XMM.
So it's
And
like
this
Scrappy
was-
Doo, let me at 'em.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in the cosplay community, this was used to describe many, like, when people would get into drama and stuff, and someone would like end up fighting with like one of the more senior cosplayers, and this would be a word that they would use against them. This was an insult. It was something like to kind of shut girls up and be
You're
like,
immature.
oh my gosh, you're immature. Yeah, it was supposed to denote immaturity. So I
Interesting.
don't know how we ended up here.
How it morphed into like how it morphed
Pedophilia.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much what Drake said.
And then this is where you get someone pushing their glasses up the bridge of their nose, going, "Actually, it's a fabophilia."
Oh god,
What was that voice?
that voice was brilliant.
Yeah, it was the problem with me trying to sound like a nerd is I already sound like a nerd.
Yeah, but you're a nice nerd.
Thank you.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of where we are, and then it turns out
we
that
jump cut to now.
this is a type of girl or women that a lot of Singaporean men find very attractive, and some will
But-
openly admit to it, and some will not.
Most people aren't going to admit
Most people,
to this. Yeah.
So you find that the fetishization of these xiaomei characteristics is very prevalent in kind of secret Telegram groups and things like that. And we are also going to talk about a niche Singapore YouTube content subgenre that has sprung up, that is very much centered around this. And also, TikTok is where very many XMMs thrive. And that is...
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to give everyone context because this is making it sound like Jet did all this research. I was the one who figured all of this out, and unfortunately for Jet, I spam him
You
a
foisted
lot.
it upon me.
Yeah, I forced him to read a lot of bullshit that I come across. So he's just reiterating what I found, okay? If anybody is sketchy, it's me, not him. Alright?
Thank you for falling on your sword.
Yeah, so...
yeah, I think like the first kind of major way in which this phenomenon broke into the mainstream was last year, the SG Insta Babes thing.
I think that was like 2 years ago.
Oh, that was 2 years ago,
It
right?
felt so
Yeah.
long ago. I feel like we've aged
SG
so much
Insta
since then.
Babes.
We have. 2020 has not been kind to all of us. Yeah, do we kind of want to like break that down and use that as a starting point?
Oh my goodness. SG Insta
Babes.
Babes.
Wait, okay, like,
I
So-
feel sketchy just typing this into
Right?
my-
Yeah.
wait, Kim,
Sorry,
like,
Greg,
what did you prepare initially, like for us to discuss?
This is the editing part where the editing goes. If you're listening to this in the final episode, there is a
Then-
problem.
if you're listening to this bunch of stuff in the final episode, that means I couldn't be bothered to edit this out.
And no, that is a stylistic choice. It is not
Yeah.
that it couldn't be bothered. It's verite.
Yeah,
It's
cinema
document-
verite.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny about it? I mean, not so funny. I mean, the thing is, like, the people who called these people out later on, maybe in a future episode, we're gonna talk about how the people who kind of hunted these
who
original,
exposed this.
like, predators and all that.
They got into their own fair share of trouble. Yeah, so SG Insta Babes, I think it was founded by this guy called Lai Wee Kiet. And he has a very, very classic case of what you call fuckboy face. And far be it from me to criticize or pass judgment on people's physical appearance, but Google him and tell me he does not. So I think he's a Malaysian bodybuilder and kind of like fitness model, and he wanted to form this like collective
A co-op.
a co-op. Seize the means of production.
Oh god.
Just,
If only. But,
sexy socialist girls.
oh,
It's just every day is it all like they're all
Xiao
farming.
Mei Mei is for Bernie.
There's
Yeah.
all pictures of all of them. Yeah,
Xiao
Xiaomei XMMs for Bernie. But isn't that what that girl was? There's this girl who was famous on TikTok for wearing like a Bernie shirt.
that was I don't even know her name. Like, she turned out to have a boyfriend, and then everyone
I
basically chased her
remember
off
that.
of Twitter.
That's right. Yeah. I'm drawing a blank on her name right now, but yeah. So I think this is not a new idea, right? The idea of there being, because there's been like since time immemorial Playboy group photo shoots of girls or
Yeah.
Pirelli calendar group photo shoots of girls, and a lot of this stuff like you want to create a parasocial relationship, so you show them doing regular activities. And so they wanted to film lifestyle vlog kind of stuff. They wanted to film them at like going to a night market, to like a Hari Raya Pasar Malam, trying the different food kind of thing. So very standard, basic vlog content. But everybody in that kind of looks like the same. They all look the way you would expect an XMM to look. And then this blew up because he wanted to create a Patreon. And the Patreon reward tiers are like increasingly skeevy. It was
Like,
you know,
yacht party.
Yacht
something.
Party. I
Yacht
love
Party.
Yacht. Yeah, because it's the video that publicizes this. I love all of this background context stuff. So like the girl in it, she pronounces yacht as yacht.
Yacht
and so
Party.
I created a meme that did not go viral, as none of my memes do. But the meme was
5,000 for yacht party with
yacht
Insta
party. Yeah, you have to be at that tier, right? So the meme was the very end post-credit scene of Justice League, where Deathstroke arrives on Lex Luthor's yacht, and then I have a speech bubble where Lex Luthor is saying "yacht party." So
Oh god.
yeah, just Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. That was the best part of Justice League, the part where Deathstroke shows up. I was like, yeah,
I
Deathstroke.
found an article which actually details the tiers
Oh, let's hear
of
it.
the donation tiers
don't
for
remember this.
Patreon.
Yacht sounds like a slang for
There's-
yacht, like yacht.
Yacht.
Well, she was right. She knew subconsciously something
Right, yeah, it
strange
was
about
Freudian. Yeah.
this. Like the thing is, like
She
these
was sending
girls
us a
are like
message in Morse
15.
code. Yeah, the
These
thing
girls
is,
are 15.
it's not that they are barely legal, it's that they are not.
They're
Because
not legal.
there is a subgenre of erotica where it's like the idea is they look younger than they are, but in this case they are that young, and that is alarming and not good.
Oh, this is so
There was like
creepy.
this. There was this picture like our legendary mother Xia Xue kind of leaked onto Instagram.
Yeah, so all the receipts came out, right? And all the
Yeah.
receipts like were in the form of WhatsApp and message text exchanges between Lai
Yeah, and
Wen and the
just
girls.
shitty emojis. The winky face emoji.
It's all very manipulative. It
Yeah.
was like a girl showing him a picture of her in a bikini, and he'd say things like, "Your ass is too flat." And then she'd be
Lame.
like, "Oh, I'll work on it." And she said, "Yeah, we can. You can work on it. I'll help you." Something like that.
Hmm? How old is this
Yeah.
girl? Was this girl?
15. They're 15.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And he was
And
like,
then
27, 28
He was
at the time.
he was saying stuff like your bod is crazy hot, especially for a 15-year-old.
Oh my
Like,
god.
why
Great
you not-
job.
Why you great? Very good, Weenie. You done your
No.
homework. Great job. The 5 people who have watched Derek. Oh,
Wait, did anything
Derek
ever
jokes.
come of this?
Did anything happen to him? 'Cause,
I don't
like,
know whether
felt
anything
like
happened
it
to him, but
died
just the
out.
Patreon didn't work. Yeah,
Yeah, the Patreon
They-
didn't work.
They couldn't do anything ever again, so the
Yeah.
SG Instababes brand was effectively dead. But I don't know whether any personal consequences fell upon him.
On live weekend, no.
Yeah, because they just get away with all of it. Right?
Oh
Just,
no, my friend saw him at the gym, so nothing happened to
nothing
him.
happened
Maybe.
to him.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So, like, vibe check. We are all completely in agreement that this is wrong, right? This is unambiguously not
Yeah.
a good thing. Yeah. So that's why it's like a lot of times it's like, why is this hard for people to notice? Why is this hard for people to see?
We can go into that later.
Yeah, we will.
We'll go into that later. Why is it the idea is actually there's nothing for some people there's just absolutely nothing wrong with this.
But it's so gross.
Yeah, and it's like some people look at this as this is a preference. But
Or
it's-
some people
it's-
are
yeah.
like just and the thing is, right, like what I found seedy about all of these, and I remember when the messages came out, I looked at some of them from Wiki. Like when he was suggesting all of these to these girls, it wasn't from an angle of being like completely just like I am hitting on you, I'm being flirtatious. He was also presenting himself as a sort of mentor.
This is a business opportunity for you. This is entrepreneurship. You're selling
Yeah,
yourself. You're
this is
branding
an-
and marketing yourself.
This is you learning how to become a model or
How
to
to
work
be a
in the
content creator.
corporate world, and he presented himself as a koko to the Xiao Mei Mei.
God.
And it is horrifying, and it's also a classic trope. It is like,
Yeah,
it's,
but we can go into that later.
Yeah, and it's how like the experience of a lot of women entering the entertainment industry is that they've been like gaslit and manipulated by men who have less than savory intentions, and like part of the job of trying to break in is to sniff that out and avoid that, and it can be really hard. And in hindsight, like I'm sure a lot of these people beat themselves up and they're like, why was I gullible, why did I fall for this? But in that moment, like when someone gives you an opportunity and you're like, okay, I have to say yes to this, I guess that's what happens to that. So I think we can't pass too harsh judgment on the girls themselves.
I don't pass any
Yeah,
judgment
same.
on these girls.
Yeah, and I think people
Like-
people do.
And the horrifying thing, right? And later on, maybe we can go through this other Reddit post I found from about a year ago about like pedophile groups being run on Telegram.
It's just like you thought SG Nasi Lemak was bad.
Yeah,
Ellipsis.
no, this is, oh my god. So, like, the thing is, like, these girls are so young. And I remember, and a lot of these pictures look like, at least the ones that these guys kind of steal off girls' pages and they recaption
Instagram,
into something else. They look like girls' school sports meetups.
Yeah, like
And
track and field day.
I can like I came from a girls' school and these photos just look like the ones that we would have taken,
Oh,
you
God.
know?
Yeah.
Just like normal photos. And I can assure you, no one is thinking of creepy guys taking your photos to go and recaption in their pervert groups. All you're thinking about is like, I want to beat that bitch up in captain's ball or something, or like you're fighting with your friend and you're there and they're like, oh no, she's in another group and we're gonna play against her. You're thinking about all sorts of innocent kind of mean girls' school drama like that.
Yeah,
Nothing.
and like
this doesn't even cross your mind.
It's kind of
Like, the
it's
thing
kind
about
of
this is-
disgusting that everywhere girls go, the girls and women go, they kind of have to think about whether men are staring at them in a
Yeah.
predatory kind of fashion. It's sorry, Jack, go on.
Yeah, and this was, I think there was a post that shared this, and the context of that was, they said, think about this every time you hear someone tell a woman to cover up. It's like, here are girls who are wearing entirely appropriate normal attire
School uniform,
for what they're doing. Yeah, and yet they are sexualized. So it is not, men don't stop sexualizing women when they don't dress slutty, quote unquote. You know, so therein lies the fallacy of blaming what a woman wears for the mistreatment or harassment or assault in some cases that they endure. So I think like this is, and to me it's like, why they are like 13 or 14 or 15, why?
I think the horrifying thing, I think that is part of it, you know?
It's built in, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's subconsciously it's normalized by the acceptance of the term XMM. So I'm not here to language police, and I'm not here to say stop calling people xiao mei mei, but think about it, right? Every time you say that, you're normalizing the association of a young girl with sexually desirable traits. That's what you're doing.
I would argue that this is initially initially a very like normal term. It's
Yeah.
just that there's an entire culture built around
That
it.
has sprouted
I
up
don't think
around,
we have
yeah.
to.
Bad verb
I don't think
choice.
we should tell anyone to like stop using the
yeah,
term
yeah.
xiao mei mei, but
But it's like inadvertently,
The-
it does normalize it.
yeah, kind of like, I don't know. The thing is like, some people might think this is like the same thing as calling guys daddy when you find them
Yeah.
attractive.
Yeah.
But you see, a daddy is a grown ass man.
That's built into Yeah.
That's built into the term. You have
Yeah.
to be a grown adult, and that's the archetype, right? Like
Leaving aside these
self-assured.
sort of problematic elements that
Yeah.
are inherent in that, which there are.
leaving aside the incest connotations.
Yeah.
The
That's
incest
a great
connotation,
sentence.
the pedophilia connotation. Just, oh god.
Ah,
Because it's like, think about it, right? Like a daddy could get together with an XMM.
Stop!
no, stop it! Oh no,
Because-
this reminds us of the
Right?
sushi video.
Yeah, so that's please don't take this out of context and try to cancel me. I plead in a sing-song voice. But yeah, so the idea is the relationship of the terminology to the taboo. It is like the way in which the taboo is part of why people find it attractive. There is an element of danger there, or there's an element where you're pushing a kind of boundary, and it's like, oh, as long as nobody gets hurt, that kind of rationalization, I could really see that figuring into this.
Yeah, and also just like, because when you look at, if you go and type in XMM into Singapore YouTube, which I feel like rightfully this would have put anyone on a list, right?
Yeah, on the registry.
Which I have so honorably gone to go and do for you guys.
Thanks,
you
Kim.
see the kind of videos that turn up, the thumbnails that are used, and just like this whole idea of like, oh no, I don't want to look at this, I'm going to go to jail, that kind of, those jokes that the dudes who do these kinds of commentary content
Videos,
where they go onto TikTok and they react to Xiao Mei Mei's, or
So
they go
we're
and try
talking
and
about-
guess their age.
We're talking about people like, do we want to name the people that we're talking about?
I mean, he's probably not going to listen to this.
Yeah. We're talking about Dikosh, we're talking about
Yeah,
Sushi. Yeah, we're
talking about this guy whose name is like a Malay slur.
It's a Malay slur.
Yeah, it's a Malay slur.
It's an ableist slur. So if by now you haven't figured that we're hardcore SJWs,
Yeah, just like, you know what, just leave us alone. Let us SJW, okay? Like,
yeah,
we're-
SJW as a verb. We're gonna do a lot of that. And the thing is, like, this is what it strikes me as, this format of content. It is like when Fox News, every spring break, they sort of have videos of girls in bikinis at Cabo San Lucas, and they sort of, the format in which it's presented is look at all of these irresponsible college kids. But of course, the real reason they're showing that is so that the old horny men who are watching Fox News have something to look at, and it is done in the guise of passing judgment when really it is to present it as, you know, yeah.
Clickbait lah.
Yeah, it is. So it gives you the safety, it gives you the buffer of, I am watching this content from a point of judgment. I am not consuming it in its intended way. I am not watching it with the goal of it making me horny. But inadvertently it does. So you create this out for yourself because, oh, here this person is kind of mocking them and making fun of them, but yet when you scroll down, the links to each of their pages and their Instagram pages and their TikToks are there in the description.
Oh,
And,
they don't even
yeah.
bother to like take it out of their own video, so...
Yeah, so it's like, and that's the format of TikTok, right? Like the ending of every TikTok video has the username. And it's built
Actually, the
with that in
username
mind.
is also in the bottom... The bottom?
It is,
area?
right? In the screen. Yeah, and I'm old, so I don't use TikTok, but I feel like one of the things that I'm uncomfortable with TikTok about is like very early on, I remember watching some commentary videos about this predatory kind of guy, and he would do like duet videos with 13, 14-year-old
Oh,
girls.
what?
So on one side of the video, there'd be a girl who doesn't know that he's
Yeah,
doing
you can
this.
like respond to it.
And on the other side, there'd be him.
What?
And it is couched as if it is a romantic duet, but it is done without the original
Oh my
poster's
god.
knowledge.
What?
Yeah. So that is a function that is built
Is
into
it-
TikTok. And that was like the first thing that I
Is
learned
it,
about
is it
TikTok is people
still,
do that.
is that function still around?
Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah,
duet
you
mode.
reply lah. Some people actually just use it for like comedic purposes. Like,
Yeah, like
if you're
people use
making
it
fun
to-
of the
they
original
mock
video or you're
Shane Dawson.
responding.
But like, there's
Yeah.
no protection for what Jet mentioned happened.
For these kids, no.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
And
So
that is
the-
my big problem with
so it's
TikTok.
kind of
yeah.
like YouTube in a sense where they had where pedophiles would stalk like young YouTubers content or like family YouTubers content and like look at the girls and kind of
Yeah.
put disgusting comments.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I
Kind
think it's a
of
lot
like
more
that.
concentrated with
Oh my
TikTok.
god.
And it's like more direct, like, because I think you will receive a notification if somebody interacts with you on TikTok.
But you can't say like you can't stop it before it happens.
Can you
Yeah.
can you take
That's the
it down?
thing. Yeah. I guess
You
could
can report
request
it.
the
You can
person
report
Oh
to,
my
it.
god.
You could
Then you have
report
to
it.
talk to the person
People
who
could brigade
made
them.
that thing.
But then
I
it's
mean,
like,
other people can kind of try and brigade you and take you
Yeah.
down and stuff, but it would have to be like whether you get noticed or not lah.
and a lot of this is like, oh, I did nothing wrong, because it's like there's nothing illegal about a 50-year-old doing a romantic virtual duet with a 13-year-old, because it is
Do not take Jet out of context for this. He is very against this position.
Yeah, I am describing this as something people do on TikTok. Like,
Yeah.
in that context, you could have the cover of, oh, it's for fun, it's acting, it's social media, but then it's obviously the connotations are there. Like, it's obviously creepy. So it's the thing where it's creepy, but it doesn't rise to the level of illegal, and so many things ride that line. So much
Yeah.
content on TikTok is all about riding
Can you
that line.
private message people on
That's-
TikTok?
Yes.
You can,
If
yeah,
they,
you
even
can.
if they're not following you or whatever?
I
Oh
think
my
so.
God.
Yeah, because we know somebody who is like TikTok famous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
partially.
yeah.
That's
So there's like that's like SG babe Xiaomi make TikTok compilations all over YouTube.
so
Don't tell me this
Yeah.
is not some gross guy putting this together. And the thing is like, okay, like so if you go and Google Xiaomi Mei cringe on YouTube, right? Like
Yeah.
a lot of the videos are these guys they're reacting to the videos, but in the thumbnail you've got like this girl, her whole like she's like
kind of like
there.
baiting you to watch, like baiting the perverts
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
kind
it's
of
like,
like-
it gives you cover. It's like, it's okay because you're here to cringe at it.
you're here to be like, ooh, ew,
Yeah, you're
deep
not-
fry fat.
Yeah, you're not
Oh
here
my
to
gosh.
consume the content. As
You're here to laugh
wonder
at
how the
it,
comments
and
are
that's
not
okay.
here in a lascivious context.
And the only problem, and the biggest problem with it is that, they cringe and then they put these girls on blast, and that kind of directs more attention to their accounts
Yeah.
even.
It
So
does,
it's like,
yeah. And this is
ah.
like, this is an endless wellspring of content. You can do Xiaomi Mei cringe reactions for days, for years, and many of these
Yeah.
channels have, yeah. For
And just-
eons.
And that's why it's an industrial complex.
Yes.
Because it's almost as if, because like these girls, when you go online, you kind of like dance, and you dance in a certain way, you wear certain types of clothes. It's not like, they don't have like the intention of like being there for perverts to consume.
As
They're
objects
just
of
kind
consumption,
of like,
yeah. It is a form of
Yeah,
expression.
it's just
It's a form
yeah.
of
It's just a
self-expression.
or
popular
you see your
medium,
friends
yeah.
doing it and it looks fun. Like it's like what the cool girls are doing. The cool girls have a lot of TikTok followers, and you're like, oh, I want to get in on it. It looks fun. I want to dance also and dress up and all that.
Xiaomi Mei?
Some of them
Some
start to,
do,
and
right.
that's actually kind of heartbreaking, isn't it? Like some of them actually do start to play into
Because
it
they're getting the attention.
because it's attention, and attention is currency in the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like, I had this conversation with Kim, right, where I said, imagine, and this kind of broke my heart as well, imagine if you're a parent and you're telling your 13-year-old girl, no, please do not take videos of yourself wearing these outfits and put them on the internet. It's not good. There might be consequences you will attract, and I'm not saying that it's because of the clothes that you're wearing, but it's just the way that men are. Don't do that. And then the girl will be like upset with the parents, right? And say, why don't you let me do anything? Why won't you let me have my privacy and let me express myself? And kind of slam the door. And the thing is, in that case, the parent is right. But I also remember what it was like to be 13. I was not a girl, but I remember what it was like to be 13, and how you're like, oh, you just don't understand, you're old. You don't understand social media. But it means...
I have the right to my own body and to wear whatever I want, and that is
I
you
feel
do.
like
So that's
I
scary,
feel like
yeah.
And you,
girls should able. I'm saying girls because they are underage.
they are girls. They are
Girls!
little girls.
Like I feel like
Girls!
they should be able to
Girls.
post whatever they want as long as it's like not sexual. And these TikToks that I've seen a bit that of these compilations, they're not sexual in any way. They're kind of just doing their thing, like lip syncing and shit. Like the problem is like there isn't enough protection from the platforms to these people for the girls.
Yeah, and I think like what we've seen from the posts of the pictures of girls at track and field meets in secondary school is that men can sexualize
Yeah.
anything. So
Yeah.
Exactly. So like you can't I mean, you can't really ever fully protect somebody from the internet.
Hence the CB leaf.
See,
It's an inanimate object.
Like you can't fully protect everybody from predators and shit.
Yeah, you
but at
can't,
least
and
try.
that's kind of the
You
scary
know.
thing.
And
Yeah.
it seems like
And the
Yeah.
the internet is a very different internet than when I was a teenager, and it's not that long in the grand scheme of things ago that I was a teenager. But in the past 10+ years, like social media has changed and morphed, and I think it is difficult for parents to kind of keep up with that and kind of understand the breadth of the threats that are facing their kids, but also react proportionately and not
yeah,
have paranoia. So these are all things to consider.
yeah, and like
especially because
fuck, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so like
Shanks has hijacked the train. Skimble Shanks, the railway cat.
Oh, yeah, lame SJW.
so like I think predators will always find ways to reach and get access to people, to their victims, in a sense there are websites going around that predators are going on, like chat rooms for kids and
Yeah, they're unregulated, completely unmoderated.
yeah, where they
trends.
can go like chat with like somebody who is 13 and kind of like getting them to send inappropriate photos or like bribing them with money. And I feel like popular social media platforms like TikTok, like Twitter, like Instagram should have protections, you know, against specifically this kind of thing, because it is very prevalent. And like I myself, I'm uncomfortable hearing about all this, and I'm a 23-year-old man. Like, can you imagine being like a 15-year-old girl who's just on TikTok because it is just something that everyone is on? And
Yeah, you wanted to do a dance.
and every time you
You
post
wanna
something,
do a dance with
every
your
time you post something,
classmate.
there's potentially somebody who's gonna take your video, add
Yeah.
to some disgusting compilation, and try to guess your age, or like jerk off to you, or like put their 50-year-old face next to yours and sing whatever shit. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting.
And yeah, if you think about it, like the biggest star on TikTok currently, Charlie D'Amelio, she's 17, right? So
Yeah.
kind of the precedence for it is really, really young people trying to be famous. And if you're young and you have you fit conventional beauty standards, then you get successful on TikTok. But then you also open yourself up to potential predators.
And it's kind of like, you know, after a while they realize which of these videos get onto compilations, right?
Yeah,
And
what
so
gains traction?
they know how to behave, and it's sort of like this marketplace of ideas that
It's a
rewards
performative
people
kind of
with
thing, right?
attention and in a sense like validation and community, like
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if I start to become more popular, maybe I'll. And the sad thing is, you're not doing it for these guys. It's probably they're doing it for like their friends, and they want to be like on the same level of
They
their
sort of
friends.
so they
and-
inadvertently commodify themselves.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the thing about social media is like the likes are important as the whatever the shares or retweets and shit. I don't know, the views on TikTok, is that what's popular?
Yeah.
Yeah, the views on TikTok
Likes,
is what
likes.
is like the currency of TikTok. So like
And your followers.
yeah, so
you want to get onto the For You
yeah,
page.
and
That's
they
like the
are
YouTube
they're,
trending
they're
page,
probably
right? Yeah.
too young to understand that like how creepy this is and how they shouldn't be doing it. So and they don't really see harm in it because they're young and they don't really know how
That's-
gross the world can be yet.
That's why we have the age of consent.
Exactly.
That's why we gotta like keep like kids away from these kinds of stuff, because your brain isn't developed enough yet to
Yeah,
understand
your
that.
prefrontal cortex is still very soft.
Yeah. You don't understand how, you don't understand what this all means fully, to have to own your body, and this is gonna be taken, and then it's very bad.
And the thing is, like, when we say this, it's easy for people to perceive that we are being kind of finger wagging scolds.
Yeah.
But the evidence is out there. The existence of people who fetishize this is out there. Like, it is an actual thing that we should be careful about.
And then it's kind of normalized, I suppose. Just for one meme, for example, that we saw on Facebook. So it's like that meme of some, I guess, wrestling
it's Vince
dude.
McMahon, the
Yeah.
head of WWE, and it's the one where he has incremental increases in the enthusiasm of his reaction.
Yeah, so the first one is like, old white man calls you son. The second tier, right, he's getting more intense. Southern woman calls you honey. And then the third tier is British woman calls you love. And then the final tier where he's like so hyped that lasers are coming out of his eyes. It reads, Singaporean Xiao Mei Mei calls you Koko.
Disgusting.
Yeah, where it's like you are excited or aroused or something on the basis of somebody calling you a familial term.
Ah!
Yeah, that is the only proper reaction to that. Is
I don't understand. Yeah.
So I want that to be a button that we can press at various times during the show.
I don't understand like how anybody can think that we're overreacting, because this is disgusting.
Yeah.
We should not be talking about young girls like this, and it's not controversial. It's
and the thing is, like, so
this is not the reverse of the whole boyfriend daddy. It's not an equivalent.
It's not. It's even though it seems to exist on that same spectrum, the implications are different. The power dynamic. That is a main thing. And we were talking about how Jade Rasif, like, she is somebody who is very confident with her sexuality and owns her sexuality, sort of wields her sexuality in her various social media posts and public appearances, but she's also very fiercely protective of young girls, and she's very fiercely
because she's probably gone
predatory
through
behavior.
Similar experiences.
Yeah.
And I think that is the important distinction to make, is that being cautious about the possible sexualization of underage girls does not mean that we are anti-sexual expression. Because that is a thing which once you are an adult, you are in control of that, and then you also hopefully know how to proportionately handle creeps and things like that. And I mean, like, Jade Russell makes a sport out of that, right? She makes a sport out of creepy PMs and clapping back and things like that. So I think that's an interesting thing to hold up, because it's very easy to come and tell people, oh, so that means that in your world, all women should wear potato sacks all the time. And that's not what we're saying. Yeah,
obviously not. No. But it's a lot of people are going to misconstrue us saying something like saying this as like we're calling them horrible people and blah 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 and we're overreacting. A lot of people are going to misconstrue us for saying that.
And this sort of brings us to the point that we probably will cover in another episode about how sexual expression is very repressed in Singapore, about how it's very difficult for people to come to terms with their sexuality and deal with it and have a platform or just a healthy outlet for that.
I think
and
even if women wear potato sacks, I think even if women wear potato sacks, men will find a way to sexualize them. Yeah, so it's really just
I mean,
the problem isn't women like expressing themselves sexually or posting whatever the fuck they want. The problem is men are engaging in this kind of disgusting behaviors and thinking that it's normal, that it's acceptable, and it makes me so angry.
And common, and like the thing is like, we're probably gonna go into sushi another day, but like
Looks
the
like sushi's back on the menu, boys.
like you see sort of the ways in which I guess there's just these constant jokes of like objectifying women, and there was this really weird video where he asked this fan to cut his hair, and then like I think at the end and then it was really odd because it was like it was shot from like her neck down, and then like he
Wait,
censored her
is this
face
a
out,
wait,
and then
I thought you said it was a cutting hair video.
yeah, it was a video of him getting what he called a stalker fan to cut his hair. But then apparently they had become friends ever since she started watching his content.
So the beginning of the video was framed as if it was like a thing, like he found her on the street and she followed him back home. So at the end of the video he says that was staged.
Yeah.
But it's not made clear in the beginning, right? And he
Yeah.
acknowledges
And
what
then
it was
like
like.
he asked,
He says he explicitly compares it to a podcasting video.
yeah, and
So
there's
here's the awareness
no
of
like
that.
yeah, and she actually is the one who asks him, so would you rather like your fans call you Coco or call you
Neither.
Daddy?
How about
Yeah.
And he was like, I'd rather, he said he would prefer, he preferred Daddy.
Jet, would you prefer our fans to call you Daddy or Coco?
Yeah. Jen.
I mean, I've called myself Jet the Jedi on the internet since I was
Fans should
12,
call you
so
Jedi.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
Jedi, yeah.
Jedi.
Yeah. A Jedi must have no personal attachments.
You just revealed your name.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, hello, all my future employers. This is just read my movie reviews and give me money. Those two things.
So, yeah, basically, absolutely cringe. Sexualizing minors is the true cringe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It is the true cringe, and also like
And we aren't overreacting.
we've just seen,
and I just wanted to assure myself of that.
yeah, and I think we've just seen the ways in which people kind of make it okay. The barriers that people set up, the filters where they're like, oh, but it's not wrong.
Oh, it's just a joke.
Yeah, it's not
or...
wrong. I'm here to cringe. I'm not here to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of this amazing story. Okay, it's actually kind of terrible, but this was a press conference for a Jackie Chan movie. And in the movie, there's a scene where a female character like exposes herself to him, and he says like no, and because he's noble and everything. So the scene is shot from behind. So there's no reason that the girl should actually have been topless in that scene because the camera doesn't see that. But Jackie Chan wanted that. And so Jackie Chan was trying to say that he was promising her he was not going to look at her like a pervert. And as he like outed himself in this way in this press conference, like I was sitting there going, don't you hear yourself? And everyone who's in this press conference, we have seen the movie and we've seen that there was no need. You could have had pasties, you could have even, like the character could even have worn a bra. So it was just like, and here he is defending his honor, and then the actress is like sitting next to him, going, yeah. So that's what this reminds me of.
Oh, I have another story like this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to change like context and names,
Names
but
have been changed to
like a
protect the
friend.
innocent.
Yeah, so a friend told me a story about a person in a senior position at her place of education.
Okay.
And this one, I guess like this one teacher started like talking about how every year there was this one girl in one of the schools she was very feisty whenever they did like this whole talk with a guest, right, who would always come in and want to ask questions. And the thing is, like, he went on and on about how this one student, right, all the guys looked at her because she was so like beautiful and she had like a great figure and everything, and they would just all drool after her, and he kept going on about it. Yeah, and then
How
like,
old is the student?
and he was like, not me. It was, I mean, like the same age as like, I guess like 20s.
This is
like
tertiary
that.
education. Yeah.
Yes, tertiary education. And then this guy would go on, and he would like, not me, I wasn't the one who did it. I wasn't the one who did it. It was the other students. It was the students who did it. It was the male students. It was all the guys. Who are you kidding? The school was like 80% women. So
Yeah.
cohort was 80% female, and it was art school.
So this is like, you're narrowing it down for us. But yeah, this is just like with Jackie Chan talking about that girl.
Yeah, it's like, it's that whole like, I'm gonna objectify this girl under this disguise of like cringing or making some kind of commentary.
Yeah, let me
about
find the
it,
quote. Because I have it. I covered the press conference.
I have a story that, like, in secondary school, I had a friend who had sex with a teacher.
Okay. Before that, is it okay if I read the quote? I found it.
Wait, no, yeah, okay.
Lin Peng has a scene where she is seen nude from behind. Jackie explains that he gave her the option of using a body double, but the actress decided to go fully nude. Emphasizing that he didn't intend on leering at her, Jackie says, "Only I could see her naked body, but I assured her I'm not a pervert. I'm not looking at you in a sexual manner."
Huh.
What?
Huh. Okay.
Interesting.
This is translated from Chinese again.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, I guess,
Thanks,
Jackie
Jackie
Chan,
Chan.
for not being a pervert.
A quality A+ nobleman. Sorry, Drake, I cut you off when you were telling your story about...
Jake,
yeah,
tell us the story.
Actually, there's not much. I don't want to like review too many details because it'll review. But we were we were like 15.
Identifying.
It's definitely rape. Even if the student wanted it, it's still rape.
It's statutory.
Minors can't consent.
Yeah.
Like that's
Exactly, prefrontal cortex song.
That's our merch.
Like the law is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, we're laughing because you're uncomfortable. We're not laughing because
it's just
funny.
like doesn't matter whether the kid wants it. Doesn't matter like if it's a female teacher and the male student is still rape. It is rape. And yeah, there's no other way to like discuss it. It is rape. Like you can't defend it.
But it's become so like there is no like I would barely even say there's like a taboo about it. Like I think people know it's like slightly sketch, but it's an open secret. Yeah. You go into the there's this Facebook group that I'm in where everyone role plays as YP bangs, young punk bangs, and there's always posts about some or whatever girl, and then these guys are making all sorts of comments about her. Then someone's like, she's 13, and then there'll be some dude who's like, I'd go to jail for that. And then somebody says, hey.
Sorry, keep going.
We have many
somebody
noises.
says, hey, y'all are gross. And then people will like angry react them and be like, fuck off, you SJW. Yeah.
Calling out predatory behavior. So it's being reduced to like to an SJW issue. It's so disgusting.
Where it's like standard decency.
If you think this is an SJW, you've never seen a real SJW.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it. Like you haven't
You're not
seen.
prepared for it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is newbie stuff. This was
you're
like,
not prepared to be told that like you are an immoral person because you're wearing clothes that were probably made in a sweatshop. You're not prepared for that.
Yeah, you're not prepared for people scolding you for not being vegan, and then more people scolding the vegans for being
Because
vegans.
the vegans have inadvertently sort of exploited local crop, etc., deprived.
Out there is a wild west that you're not prepared to face.
Yeah, if the standard is someone
at.
calling you out for objectifying an underage girl, if that is like unacceptable to you because that's too politically correct.
Like basic human decency.
The thing is, like,
what's
upsetting is that
exactly
this whole like low key kind of like making jokes about accidentally sexualizing underage girls, very common on Singapore YouTube. And I was talking about it the other day, like how, okay, sure, like commentary YouTubers in the UK, the US, sometimes they make edgy jokes, right? But this was passe years ago.
Yeah.
This was like unacceptable years ago.
People would be calling you out
for
for it.
We, Singapore as a culture,
Yeah, you
is
would
kinda
be
like, for a few years lagging behind. We're like Internet Explorer in that sense.
I love that meme, right?
But
The
then
Grim Reaper
people
meme.
might accuse us for trying to like imbibe us with Western values.
Oh yeah,
and
a certain
whatever
internet might say
bullshit.
that. Yeah, I mean, this is what was it?
Facebook
The meme where the Grim Reaper is taking the Internet Explorer away. It's time to go. You know, the meme that is usually, was I the best X, Y, was I a good X, Y, Z, and then the Grim Reaper would say you are the best. So in this case, Internet Explorer stays there, and then the Grim Reaper looks behind, and then it says Internet Explorer has stopped responding. This was like question marks above the Grim Reaper's head.
Oh my god.
I love that.
That's
Yeah, they just
Singapore.
stop responding.
In terms of like, I mean, like, if something is bad in a culture, just get rid of it. We don't bind people's feet anymore. And I know there was like practical reasons around not doing that, but you know, it was for the better. So
Yeah, because like a
let's
lot of
just,
attempts
you
to
know,
get
like,
rid of
stop
problems with the culture and things that and things
the
that
culture.
victimize and marginalize certain people is that you will have many more people telling you this is not actually a problem though, because it doesn't directly affect me.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. And also because admitting it is a problem.
No, but
is
it
inadvertently
affects the
admitting
girls.
I'm not a good person.
It affects the little boys and the little girls and the
Yeah, I
little
feel like this
people in
already,
between.
like, affects everybody. Like we all have sisters,
Yeah.
mothers, friends.
Yeah.
Or future, like in the future we have daughters and shit. Like we should care.
Us three.
I
don't
have
know.
shit now.
like we should give a fuck about the I almost said the females.
The females.
We should give a fuck about
Females.
the people around us.
The females withhold their affection from
Jesus
me.
Christ.
Jet, no. Oh dear, my headphones.
Yeah, this is so far, if we're grading this on the curve of what will future employers think of this if they listen to this is a complete disaster.
I'm sure it'll be an entertaining episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, this is kind of like Schrodinger's podcast performance.
All
It's like
biz is
you want it to
showbiz.
do well, but if it does too well, yeah.
So yeah, it's just the Xiaomei industrial complex normalizes pedophilia. And that is so scary to say because it's so
Yeah, and because like
it's like such a big part of how we talk to each other online.
of what is
And
acceptable.
it is very scary to be accused of being bringing in Western ideas in Singapore. But this
Western
shouldn't be that
ideas
scary
like
to
children
want
who
to
are
protect
underage should not be sexualized.
kids. Yeah, Western ideas.
And there was
Oh
also
god.
like the entire can of worms that I will like bring the can opener close to it but not open it, like the Uzaki-chan thing. Noise. Yeah. If you know what we're talking about, you know what we're talking about. So and then there was debate. like angry debate. Yeah, and a lot of it became like an essentialization of Western Twitter doesn't understand Eastern Twitter. Western Twitter is trying to police Japanese Twitter, that kind of thing. And that was.
But we can do that
amazing.
deep dive.
So I feel like, and if you think about it, people like Stinky Sushi, like Dikosh. I think Stinky Sushi does not want us to mention him in the same sentence as Dikosh now. But people like them are the biggest Singapore.
The thing is, like,
these are not like 1 subscriber, 100 subscribers.
It's normal to be just like, oh my gosh, if you put this out here, what if some old man comes to look at you and like you're platforming them even more?
What if some
what
old man and they stare out of the screen? They stare out of the monitor.
Just like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, it's not that I don't want to accuse. I'm not gonna accuse these people of pedophilia. Like I'm not going to levy such heavy claims on them. It's just that it's so embedded in the culture that you're probably propagating pretty harmful ideas without even realizing the ways in which this can harm people.
And it's scary, right?
And
because
I don't think
about it,
Sushi is the worst
child actors,
perpetrator of that. There's certainly worse groups out there. He mostly makes fun of it, but also some of the styling I don't agree with.
Who? Sorry?
We can talk about other things that he says like another day.
this?
I don't think he's a nasty person, but we just gotta get better.
Who is this? Sorry.
I thought you were on the phone.
I'm talking about Sushi.
Jet was like, who is this? I was like, you're on the phone?
No. Yeah, because I think I cut out there something. This is also a part to edit. But
And if you hear this in the final edit,
it's
I
a
didn't
stylistic
bother.
choice.
Just leave
It's
it
not
all in,
lazy,
leave it
guys.
all in. Okay,
Yeah, but we're just making it so much worse. But yeah, I think that's it's important to notice this, and I think noticing it is the first step. Like, I don't have any conclusive answers on where to go, what solutions there are, but I think we should also normalize calling it out. We should also normalize protecting people from being victimized, and I think that women should definitely look out for other women. Like, women should speak out against men when they see men.
Men also needs to speak up.
And
Against men,
yeah, I think like if you see a bro, you joke about these things. To an extent, right? It's not as, and I don't like it, but it's not as horrible as actually like going to be the ones to procure the pictures and then like joining these groups. If your bros start to join these sorts of groups, maybe you make the jokes, right? But you don't really mean it. But if you see people actually doing the actions that will harm people in real life, it's important to sit them down and be like, you realize, okay, we can maybe joke about it in our private circles.
There are ways to,
but when you're
funnel your
out there going to,
horniness that do not hurt
yeah, when you're out there doing this, you're actually hurting people. Bro, we need to sit down. We need to have a talk. We all gotta have an intervention.
This is a horniness funnel,
a bit of,
and then you hold the funnel up.
A bit of like wholesome masculinity. We gotta talk it out. Gotta cry it out. Gotta join an MMA. I don't know what dudes do.
We can sell a funnel and it's just printed on it. The horniness funnel.
No! No! I refuse.
Smash cut to when we sell merch.
Assuming if we get to sell merch.
That is very optimistic.
So, yeah, if you don't want to be, I don't know, if you think this is too SJW and like we're censoring you too much, you want to make your stupid jokes, at least when your friends let on that they do something like sketchy, like actually sketchy, call them out,
If
at least do that.
So
You don't have to.
if we all just let
Get
this
some
kind
help.
of behavior and language go on like pedophiles are gonna think
Unchecked.
it's
Yeah.
normal and acceptable to engage in these kind of behaviors. They're gonna think that that
Yeah.
like people are becoming more
Mhm.
accepting of me or that kind of bullshit. Like I don't know how you but like yeah, but like we
I don't know
shouldn't
how
like we shouldn't
pedophiles function. Don't
let this
ask me.
behavior like comments, jokes like be out there online without having any repercussions. Because if people don't call it out, people don't respond to it, if people like go along with it, like it's gonna give the wrong impression and ideas. Like but you know, I'm a sensitive SJW.
Mm. And the thing is, like,
Yeah, and this is the
this-
thing, right? This is the thing where it's like, if it gets to a point where you can, the only thing you are thinking of when you look at any women is smash or pass. Like, that is the only way you can think of a woman. That is the only way in which you can conceive of a woman. That is not healthy. That is going to severely hamper your social
Yeah.
interactions for the rest of your life. And at that point, you need to ask yourself some hard questions,
Get therapy.
some difficult questions.
and just like the thing is, like, these videos, right? Like, oh, how old is
Let's
this?
guess.
How
Let's
old is
guess,
this
yeah.
girl? Is she a 小妹妹 or not? Let's guess how old she is. Like, the thing is, like, people are, you know, it's like a. That's what Onision
It
did.
is. I did not realize that.
Yeah, I just remembered.
You heard
I
me
just
live react
remembered.
to this revelation.
Like, this was like a video. I remember a few years ago that was what was popular on YouTube, and the thing is that content was really popular with other kids as well who watch it, and they're like, hey, I want
Rate
Onision
me,
to
yeah,
like
to
rate me,
physical
or like
attributes, to rate your boobs and rate
Yeah,
your face. and
rate
yeah.
or like
What?
or like guess how old you are,
Yeah.
you know, and people
And
are like,
a
hey, I want him
Onision
to
forum
do it to me
where
What
too.
the
submit
fuck?
these pictures.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, that was normal a few years ago in maybe what you would call
So
the
we
Western
incorporated
side of
Western
YouTube,
values.
and now people are learning that. Yeah, we definitely did. So, you know, you're not original. It's fine, Calvin.
Oh, we said his
Chung.
name.
We said his name. We said his name. It's not. Yeah. So just. It's,
He was
you know,
our
like, be
Voldemort for
careful.
like
Be
50
careful.
minutes.
Think about like what are the repercussions on this young person's life to put them out here when you know that this material can be creep bait, and then you leave their TikTok name and their Instagram name, you put it in the descriptions. You know, I understand maybe these people are just trying to make content, and they definitely don't see themselves as part of that creepy Telegram group, but
You're
I mean,
enabling it.
there
at the very
is a
least.
How
you
about like
you
every
are
time
enabling it
we
a little.
plan to engage
A
or
lot.
talk about a young person or a minor, like we think about the repercussions. Like we truly think about, like, every time we interact with young people's content or with minors. Like I can't think of the right word. We think about the ethics of it. We think about what exactly we're doing or saying to these people or about kids.
The
Yeah, like,
implications.
just use your big brain lah, please.
Use your brain.
You're a
It's not that
big
big of an
boy,
ask
use your
to use
big
your big brain.
brain.
Yeah, one would hope.
Yeah. So basically, be more careful about content involving minors and call out your friends when they actually do this kind of stuff. And then if you want to take it a step further, maybe try and rethink the kind of jokes
and
you
all
make
the older
about
men saying like,
sexualizing young
back
people.
then, like, nobody cared about all this kind of stuff. Like we just talk about it. Yeah, but back then we didn't have like the internet with where access to young girls. I hate saying this word. Where access to young girls are so available, and And it wasn't that big of a problem then because it just didn't exist. But it is
Yeah.
now. And we need to set up some rules and we need to protect our kids. Our kids. I'm 23.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we do, in a way,
Yeah.
owe some sort of responsibility to the
Exactly.
people around us, especially people who are vulnerable. And prefrontal cortex soft. Yeah. So, I guess that might bring us to the end of today's episode, our very first episode of Soft Serve.
Hooray!
Hello?
Thank you for sticking
Hooray,
with us
hooray.
through this episode. And
Yeah.
this is sort of a look at things to come. Hopefully, we will continue to find things to talk about where we will have more reactions to it than merely recoiling in disgust. But yeah, we've done a lot of recording today.
When it's
Hope
my
you
turn, I'm
enjoyed
gonna
seeing
talk
that
about
happen.
murders. I don't care.
Yeah, and do give a
Yeah, so I'll
and
be
do
recording.
give us a little yeah, and do give it a little bit of thought, like, you know, next time you're engaging with content to do with a minor, even if it's like Aiden Gallagher or something. I don't know.
United Nations
Yeah.
child
Remember
ambassador.
when people were obsessed with
United
Finn
Nations
Wolfhard? Is that
ambassador
his name?
Aiden Gallagher.
That was so gross.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
so uncomfortable with that.
Oh, the little kid.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, and the Millie Bobby Brown thing.
Does
with
Timothy Chalamet
Craig.
count, or is he
Oh,
like
no.
older? He's older, right?
I mean,
yeah.
No, I think
I mean,
Timothy
I feel
Chalamet
like
is
I feel
older.
The
like
trailer's supposed to
back
come
then
out
when
soon.
Yeah.
let's say Drew Barrymore was younger, she probably had to go through the same thing, but probably not as intense as what
yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown has to go
Oh
through.
yeah, because there wasn't social media. But yeah, I mean, this is a thought that I have, right?
I
Every time there's
remember-
like child actors in the movies, like someone somewhere is like not taking this in the way it's supposed to be taken, and to me this is horrifying. Like I could not
Oh,
imagine
Yeah.
that happening to somebody whom I love.
oh my. So, yeah, I think that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Goodbye. We'll see you again next time.
Goodbye.
I'm
See you
gonna
again.
take like a long
I'm
cold
gonna
shower.
stress eat or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna stress eat in the shower, like advanced mode, advanced mode, advanced mode, advanced.